Getting everything set up, so just indulge, or let me indulge. I gotta be able to read comments, I think. Sorry, Chuck. I fucked that up. Anyways, welcome. It's me, Doug, live, sober, mind you. Not one beer at all. Traffic was a bitch getting over here, so everybody on the roads in Melbourne, I hope your car explodes with you in it so I get a nice, sweet, fast, lovely ride home. We are going to talk about modes. I haven't written any notes, but we're gonna pretend today like I'm the guy that made up modes. So wipe your memory of everything. And I mean, this is pretty much for beginners. So if you're just having a little bit of a tough time learning modes, what you should do is watch this. You know, it goes for an hour, but watch this. Watch other people's videos on modes. That's what I did. And just soak up all the information. One day you'll be driving down the street and everything will just pop in your brain and you'll be like, oh, I get it now. Because it's a bit weird because it's specific and broad at the same time. It means one thing and not a bunch of things, but you know what I'm saying. I got a dog here, so if you hear somebody going brr, brr, crying or this kind of thing, that's Lily. That's my brother-in-law's dog. Okay, let me just say hey to Lee and Chuck. Maybe Saturday's not a good day to be doing this stuff, but you know what? That's life. We got to get onto it. Okay, so do you have your guitars? Get your guitars and tune to this. Basically just E standard or A standard, A440, whatever you want to call it. Nothing special. The reason why I'm using this and not a 7-string is just because this doesn't have a Floyd. It's going to be easy for me to deal with it in case it gets out of tune. And I'm just want to relay you information easily and not have to dick around with the guitar in doing so. So here's what I want you to do. Here's some goofy little things about modes that you need to know. This is just kind of basic stock standard stuff. Don't get too, don't think about it too much. It's just things that because I always tell everybody I'm self-taught. Who's this? Tim Voigt did something. I don't know what you did. Hello, Tim. Hello, everybody. Chuck, Lee, Tom Voigt. I'm sorry. tomboy. So let's get stuck into it. Couple of things. Think of it this way. One scale, like, you know how the modes have got like a scale attributed to those notes. I think I'm confusing myself. Listen, take this into account. A scale is only, well, Western music, a scale is only going to be 7 notes long. 7. I'll show you why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you got the octave, which is the 8. So that guy and that guy should sound the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it starts over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes sense? We're gonna try it a couple different ways as well. Also, whatever note you're using can also be, this is my thing I've thought up in my head, and a lot of you are going to be like, you're an idiot. But whatever notes you're playing, you can use as power chords in the background. Kind of makes sense. Because if you can use the note, then you should be able to use the power chord with that to make up kind of your rhythms in the background. Where it starts getting interesting is when you kind of go out of key and you start creating tension and that kind of a thing. So just something to think about. I'm throwing it out there. We have an hour. If you have questions, ask them, because that's the only way we're going to get this thing to happen. Also, if you are, like I said earlier, if you're like a guitar teacher and you're in here and I'm translating or if I'm saying something, if I'm delivering poorly, then by all means translate for me to get the point across. So what we're going to do is, instead of starting with a C major scale is good because it's all the white keys on the piano, but I want to specifically tailor this for guitar and not piano. So in a way, we are going to be playing all the white keys on the piano because I'm going to start with A minor first. But instead of starting with C major, we're going to start on an open A. So here's the way I learned scales, is that I took the 2 lowest strings, which are A and E, the 2 lowest power chords, sorry, A and E. And now this is going to apply to like metal in the 80s kind of thing. A lot of the background chords were like Rainbow in the Dark kind of a vibe. And I know I'm playing it wrong, but I'm trying to dumb it down a little bit. So we're playing an F or an A, F, and a G. Now, and that was every fucking song in the 80s. Is just like Aces High's got something. We're gonna stick with those chords like Scorpions. So that's all we're gonna work with. Now we're gonna do it in A, which is here. It sounds out of tune a little bit, but you know what? It's rock and roll. I don't give a shit. And then another one we're gonna do is when we go to the E chord, we're gonna do the same vibe. E, C, D, and E. And that can apply, dude, there's so many, I mean. So, you know, what was that? Breaking the Chains, Dawkins. There's also, Never Unchain the Night or Unchain the Night. That kind of a vibe. So we're only going to work, and since I'm going to start with A, we're only going to need A, F, and G. And let me tell you, if you're looking for backing tracks on this stuff, they're on YouTube. Just type in A minor metal guitar backing track. Something very similar to what I've just done is going to show up. So what scale do we know kind of right off the bat that's going to work? Is going to be, obviously, you don't have to tell me, it's all good. It's going to be the A minor pentatonic. You know where that's at. It's the blues scale. We'll put it here, the 5th fret. And then you do the 1, 12 frets up. And you're going, dude, that sounds way rock and roll, but you know, we're only jamming here, and there's a whole neck to get through. How do we expand on this? Well, let's add some notes to the, I don't know, A scale. We'll make it an A minor scale, okay? That's what metal is, because I'm a metalhead. I don't really care about all the other stuff. This is for you who are metalheads and people who are into thrash, that kind of thing. We're going to start with just an A minor scale. Why? Because I want to, and this is the way I learned. And I'm a dummy, and if I can show you this, you'll get it as well. And I just remembered I wanted to start with somewhere else, but I'm going to keep going on this thread. So, basically we're going to take something that has that, but we're just going to add a couple more notes that sound like they'd stay within the key and make it 3-note per string, and then that way you can start getting into like alternate picking and burning and that kind of a vibe. So a great place to start is A minor. So the pretty cool thing about this particular scale I'm going to show you is the fact that the strings do mirror each other, as in what you do on one string, you do the exact same shapes on the other string, and it happens twice. And because of the way the B and the high E are tuned, you know, against the G, it gets a little bit wacky, but it's not horrible. So we're going to start now. So you want 5, 7, 8. We're going slow enough to, if you want to use all downs, feel free. Next string, 5, 7, 8. Now widen it, 5, 7, 9 twice. B string is going to be 6, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10. Not exactly the funnest thing to play, but not horrible either. Okay, so that's an A minor scale. Obviously, you know, if you can do it here, you can do it 5 frets up from here as well. Apply everything I just showed you here. Now, with this logic, you could go, well, I don't want to play in A minor. I want to play in E minor. Cool. Take that there, which is an A note. Where's your E going to be? Well, there's one at the bottom at the open string, or there's one right here at the top, 12th fret. If you apply that same shape, you're now playing in E minor. I think I've done videos on this, so I don't want to really kind of redo something I've already done, but I'm happy to do it. Anyways, let's go back to the A minor here, starting on the A note, not A string, A note. So basically what happens is you have an A note, you have an A, you have a B, you have a C, D, E, F, G, and then it starts all over again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That kind of a thing. Are there any questions, or am I pretty sure you're not a dummy? Thanks, person. I don't have my glasses. I love your guitar playing, amazing. Thank you. Feel free to chime in with the questions, but if you don't have any, that's fine too. So here's what happens: is that you've got your A minor, you've got all your notes set out. So basically on a piano, it's going to be all the white keys starting on an A note. And all they've done is, so let's do that. Now we're going to go here and start. So we're going to start here on the B and add another couple of notes, but stay within the A, B, C, D, E, F, G vibe. So we got A, B, C here. We got B, C, D here. We've got, what is that, C, D, E here. This is D, E, F, E, F, G. So we're going G, E, G, A, B, A again. A, B, C. Now, I mean, if you wanted, you could even take what I just did, play those things twice, and you pretty much have an A minor ascending thing going up the neck. That kind of, I mean, just, you can start doing things. You should start doing things. Ask them to share this stream, Twitter and Facebook. Oh, you love when that happens?
You sound like that guy on Curb. You know the
what's his name?
the really tall dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, I forget his name. Yeah, start sharing this around, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You know, get the name out there. So, basically, here's one part of what modes are. Modes are this. Modes are, okay, so you're starting, okay, I'm going to break it down here we go. So it's, the first mode we're going to say is A minor. I'll just do the first 4 strings. A minor, starting on an A note. And then you shift up and you go, hey, we can continue up the scale. This is going to be A minor starting on a B note. Whoops. I'm gonna show you these shapes as well, so you may as well get something out of this, obviously. So A minor starting on a B note is going to be, and this is actually quite nice as well. This is one of the really good ones, so I'm going to show you the whole 6-string scale. The first 2 notes, the first 2 strings are going to be 5, 7, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10. The next 2 notes, 7, 8, 10, 7, 10. I'm sorry, 7, 9, 7, 9, 10. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then the other 2 strings are going to be 8, 10, 12. So you've got A minor starting on a B note. 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10. 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12. What was the first one? A minor here. Now here's where it gets cool. You can start practicing stuff. And what I used to do as part of my little practice regimen, I guess, is that I would take just the first 2 here, and this is kind of Paul Gilbert based, so I'm not, by any means, I'm not making, I'm not some fucking grand wizardy Holdsworth type of cat. I'm just a fucking dude who's looking at another dude wanting him to love him. So you've got this. Bring it up to the second, to the B minor starting on, or the A minor starting on the B, and then if anything, descend. Down, up, and now here's another thing. It all kind of ties together and it's rad. When you do it here, when you ascend, down, up, down, up, down, up, you're now doing outside picking. Because your last note that you picked was a down. Your first note you picked here on the A is an up. If you take those if you loop that little bit, that's outside picking. Here's the strings, here's your low E, here's your A, bam, 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 bam. Like, they're never in the middle. They're always on the outside. So there's no way to really screw that up until you get here. The picking switches to inside picking. Now you've got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Was your last note picked here? Down, up, was there. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. Now that's picking, you're picking on the insides of the strings. It's a little bit uncomfortable feeling. But if Gilbert can do it and Malmsteen and like every other shredder on the planet, this is just a necessary thing you have to do. Excuse me, I'm gonna brush my teeth. Right, Chuck? Okay. So now what you do is you just, you know, get a metronome happening and get those two going. If you don't want to deal or work on alternate picking right now, like incorporate it, just do all downs or something. Now, then as part of my regimen, what I would do is I'd expand and I'd add another 2 strings. So now you've got, come up to the A minor, starting on the Beano, or you know, this little area. All the picking rules kind of apply. What you do on, that's why sets of 2 strings is kind of cool, is that whatever you're doing down, up, down, up, down, up on those 2, and you do it here as well. You're just changing your left hand. You come up here, down, up, now, and you're still doing the inside picking with this group. And then you add the other 2 strings, and you get those in there. Or you can do something goofy like take these 2 strings in the middle and go. You can kind of do stuff like that, or you can do that like that Paul Gilbert stuttering. That kind of thing. But that, I'm just trying to show you how to learn the scale, not make it boring. So let's move on to what I would like to call A minor scale, starting on what? A C note. So you can always think of it like that. That's the way I do, and that, you know, people would be like, "Oh, that's wrong. You can't, dude. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Number one, it's your life, your brain. You know, I would rather be able to. This is what I came up with. I'd rather be able to play it than say it. So okay, so I don't know every single fucking scale shape I'm doing or this kind of shit. You know, but I'm still gonna put it on a record or fucking play it live. What are you doing there? No idea. And tons of dudes do that. So I think I'm probably more maybe performance based than theory smart, but I do know the modes. And it was tough. I liked oh geez. Let me just reminisce for a minute. I had the Vinnie Moore video. And he talked about modes. I had the Frank Gambale video, and it was me and my partner in crime, Scott Miller from Sinister Sam. We're both in the band, and we were both trying to learn modes, you know, at the same time. But obviously, it was fucking hard. Now, let me just backtrack for a second. And I said that modes are ultra specific, but they're also wide ranging. If you're talking to somebody and they say, "Do you like that AC/DC song? I don't know, Have a Drink on Me." You're like, yeah, it's cool. And he'll say something like, yeah, it's got a really cool kind of Dorian vibe. That's a thing. That's because there's certain notes within these modes, and that's why they say modes are like moods, that where you will go, you can think of it in your head and go, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So maybe I'll hit that up right now. No, I don't think I will. Because we only have 2:58. We started at, oh, I'm sorry. We only have a half hour now. Fuck. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to start with, we're still doing this. Now you get to experience, you see, you got 2 scales under your belt. Actually, more than that. Because you can also use your, like your A minor pentatonic is still there. I kind of consider that like your baseline, to where if you're playing and then you want to get adventurous, chuck in a little bit of A minor. And then you can go back into, you know what I mean? Now listen, I've heard Rick Graham do that. People do it. The Periphery guys, everybody kind of takes a bit of, they always kind of break it down back to its simplest shape, which this is going to be A minor pentatonic. And when I play live, and if I feel I'm getting adventurous on stage or whatever, but I kind of get lost and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore, I'll revert back to like a minor pentatonic thing, just to kind of gather my bearings and then move on from that if my brain is quick enough to kind of catch up and move forward kind of deal. So the next one is going to be an A minor scale starting on a C note. And, the last one I showed you was A minor scale starting on a B note. That's a really nice feeling shape to play because, it's doubles as far as... This is a good one too. This is a really good one. So you've got low E and A, you've got 8, 10, 12. The G and D, 9, 10, 12. And you've got B and high E, you've got 10, 12, 13. So let's say you had those rainbow in the dark chords going in the background. You can play your little A minor pentatonic. You can also use you can start applying the other scales and you're going to stay in key because you're only hitting A, B, C, D, E, F, G over and over and over and over and over again, covering the whole neck. Alan Holdsworth once said that when he thinks of like an A minor scale, he didn't say that particular thing, but when he thinks of an A minor scale, he doesn't think of it as this thing here. He can see it all the way from the very lowest note to the he sees it all mapped out probably in dots in his mad ass head. Because he's a badass, that guy. He's fucking rad. So, I mean, this is just kind of the way you do it. And obviously, by the same token, what I want to tell you is, if you're playing an A minor, and you have these other things that go with it, if you want to change to E minor, all this stuff you learned here, you just scoot the whole thing. So it always stays in order. The modes always stay in order. So, do we get through that? So we've got A minor here, A minor starting on a B note here, A minor starting on a C note here. Whoops. And you can do wacky stuff like that, like legato stuff, and slide and all those good little things and get back to here if you want. And all I'm doing is staying within the same shapes I'm showing you. So let me just kind of break it down so that we only have like 27 minutes left. So basically, where am I fucking going with this? Is that, like I said, because it's a 7-note scale, there's 7 different starting points. And once you get to the 8th one, you're kind of back here again. So we got A minor scale starting on an A. We've got A minor scale starting on a B. A minor scale starting on a C. A minor scale starting on a D. A minor scale starting on an E. A minor scale starting on an F. And A minor scale starting on an G. Did I get with that one? A minor scale starting on an A. And obviously, I want you to know the A minor scale starting on an E. A minor scale starting on an F. You can also do down here. Another thing I want you to know is this. We've got like 25 minutes left. If I can't finish all of my ideas that I got on here, what I'm going to do is, in the show description thing down below, I'll just put up more stuff to get you more confused. But I'll just put down everything. Okay? That help? Now, here's where it gets wacky. Why do they make, I don't know why they make C major the starting point, but they do. Okay? So if you're on a piano and you hit a C and you hit, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that is a C major scale, starting on the C note. We were doing minor stuff here because it's metal. I didn't want to confuse you, but major is happy. Minor is angry. Now, every major scale / chord, I think it's every major scale, maybe major scale, major chord, has a relative minor. So they're like cousins, or however you want to think about it. So the way I think about it is, how do I do this? Anyway, that's how I do it. I do it like this. So if you're ever confused and you want to know, this is your minor first finger. This is your major pinky, okay? So that no matter where you're at on the fucking guitar, if you find the root note and you just you either count forward or count back, you'll find the other guy. So if you're like, okay, here's A minor, I want to know what the relative major is. You go like this. Stay in the key. You go A, B, C. Oh, it's C. Cool. So C major is basically an A minor scale starting on the C note. Or the right way is C major scale is like the fucking alpha and omega, and it's where you start. But we're doing metal. Like, when I was learning this shit, I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about major. I'm going to stick with minor because minor is metal. I'm metal and, whatever. But obviously, there's major and minor scales and keys within the minor. Fuck, that sounds confusing, and I apologize. Somebody translate for me. Anyways, so that's C major. There, which is also A minor. So C major and A minor scale are exactly the same. It's just a different starting point. When you're playing A minor, you start on an A. When you play a C major, you start on the C, and it's the same exact notes and everything. You just start and end on the C. So it's just different starting points. So now I said earlier, A minor starting on an A minor starting on a B. Now we're going to totally flip that and go C major starting on an A. C major starting on a B. C major starting on a C. C major scale starting on a D. C major scale starting on an E. I'll show you what these are. Look, I've got it on my little website. DougFCKNSteele.com in a section called Modes for Metalheads, where I kind of break it down a little bit more, in a timely fashion. But I'll give you these now, and we'll just do the top 4 strings. So the D, C. No way. I wanted this today. You're on the air.
这里是中国大使馆通知您，您有一份文件尚未领取已达多天，请携带相关证件过来领取，否则将于今日到期。如需咨询，请按。
I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. That's one of you guys on here. She doesn't like the way I'm explaining this, so I apologize. I didn't get her name, but she's like, dude, you're fucking this up mad time. So sorry. Okay, so C major scale starting on a D note. Looks like this. Low E, it's going to be 10, 12, 13, and then you got 10, 12, 13, and you got 10, 12, 14 for the next 3 strings. C major scale starting on an E looks like this. 12, 13, 15. The next string, 12, 14, 15 twice. And then 12, 14, 16. Now, the next one is, and I'll put it down here at the 1st fret. It's a C major scale starting on the 1st fret or 13th. You can do them in both spots. We'll do it here. 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5 twice, and 2, 4, 5. Kidding. Not really kidding, but. Okay, and then you've got a C major scale starting on a G string. And then obviously we're back. And you can do it here as well. This space, a bunch of times. What is that, 15, 17, 19? 3 times. 16, 17, 19. And then obviously your last one is your C major scale starting on an A. Which is also an A minor scale, since you're into this. Now, back in the fucking Bach days or whatever, whoever made this shit up is like, I'm trying to write a concerto, or I'm trying to relay some information to another musician, and saying C major starting on a D note, let's face it, sounds pretty fucking dumb. So let's add some names to this shit, shall we? Let's give them, what are the Greek names? You tell me for once, motherfuckers. There's 21 of you in here. Anyways, so the C major one, we're gonna name it Ionian. So what is Ion? Okay, here's where it gets broad and huge. Ionian means major. That's all you need to understand. Ionian means major. So if somebody says, play, C Ionian, you're thinking, oh, that is this particular shape right here. Now, all you gotta do to make it E Ionian, go up to an E, and now you're playing E major. Apply the same spaces. How happy does that sound? What's that one song? Fucking all the small things. That is C Ionian. All the, okay, we've got a C chord here. We got a G, which is also, they're all natural chords or notes or whatever. It's all played on the white fucking piano shit. I'm sure the vocal line, that's an E, which is part of the C major scale. What do we got here? C and B. mean, that's part, you're playing just a little part of you know, the C Ionian mode. So that's another thing I want to let you know, is when somebody says, oh yeah, well, what kind of vibe is this band doing? It's kind of like an Ionian vibe. Not that anybody would really say that. They'd probably say, you know, just like major key happy shit. Well, that particular song, that's happy as shit. So there you go. Okay, so they go, okay, C Ionian, we need another one. So we need one for a C major scale starting on the D note. Okay, well, we'll call that D Dorian. So what does D Dorian really mean? It means C major scale starting on the D note. That's your first. Now here's where it gets a little bit wacky. With each scale, there comes a chord. Oh, Doug, but we were having so much fun. We can still have the fun. It's still, nothing changes. This is easy as shit. We'll quickly go over those. Or should I? No. I got 15 minutes left. Maybe 20. Let me finish telling you the names of them. You should be writing this shit down or go to my web, whatever the fuck. Like, go to another person's YouTube channel. They'll have the same shit. It never goes out of order, okay? That's the great thing. If you can memorize the order that the modes go in, the chords that go, because it ain't hard. Like, okay. All they did was they took to make the chord to this Ionian, they took the first, third, and the fifth. You've heard that a million fucking times. They took the root note, which is the C. They took the third note, which is an E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they took a C, E, and a G. Let's try to make a chord of that. C, E, G. Well, let's continue. C, E. Okay, cool. Holy shit, that is a C major chord. Obviously, because you're playing a fucking C major scale. Get it? What came first, the chord or the scale? Let that fucking blow your mind for a minute, eh? Probably the scale, but that's the thing. You need something to play it over. So you start with the meat and potatoes, and then you sprinkle your shit on top, or do you start with your sprinkled shit, and then you need something to put it on? Okay. So basically, like I said, each has a name. Let's get through them. So, D Dorian was the last one we did. E Phrygian? I believe it's E Phrygian. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. Yep. So we've got E Phrygian next. And that is played over in E minor. And actually, let me go back. D Dorian is played over at D minor. So we got major. We got D minor here. We've got, E minor here. Do, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun, motherfucker shit. E, a name I call myself. Far, a long, long way to run. So, okay. E Phrygian here. The next one is F Lydian, which is F major. And that's... Lydian is fucking awesome. I love hearing, if you're into Joe Satriani, Lydian is the shit. Frank Zappa used it a lot. Steve Vai uses it a hell of a lot. You know how at the end of that one song he's got this chord? And then he starts going, it's over. It's that total Superman fucking flying over the world kind of bullshit. I think some of the Simpsons music is Lydian-esque. Flying in a Blue Dream, absolutely. Yeah, Lydian's awesome. Lydian is fantastic. So if you write in Lydian, I love your fucking band. Leave your band's clips in the links below, because Lydian's the best. So you got Lydian, which was here, F. You got G Mixolydian. Which is played over G major. And you've got your A minor. which is actually A minor. There's your C. And let me blow your mind one more time. There's only one note difference between major and minor. Fuck you, what do you mean? Okay, here's an E major. Here's an E minor. Happy and untuned, sad. And this reflects it when you play the scales. Where am I? Did I forget one? I did. Here. So this is A Aeolian. I'm sorry. G Mixolydian here. A Aeolian here. So A Aeolian just means straight up A minor. Aeolian minor. Ionian major. Aeolian minor. B Locrian. Locrian's a weird one. We'll get into that later because I only have 15 minutes. B Locrian. And that's played over like a like a diminished type of vibe. Don't worry about it right now. We'll talk about it never. And then you're back to your C major. Now, are there any questions or no? Because there's tons to go through. So that's basically what a mode is. It's describing a certain vibe that a song has. And why do you like it? Why do you like Rainbow in the Dark? Because it's Aeolian. It's metal. And the progression that you're using is A minor, which is A Aeolian, to F Lydian, to G Mixolydian, back to A minor, A Aeolian. But you don't think of it in terms like that. You just think of it in terms of heavy as shit, couple of chords in the background, and fucking see you later. And that's the way I hear it. I don't let that other shit. But if you're explaining it to somebody else, it's nice to be able to say, yeah, it's got like a cool minor vibe, and people kind of get the idea of what's going on. So now let's break it down into the moods that each one creates. So you've got, we said that Ionian C major, Ionian was happy. Now, if you're here at D Dorian, you're playing over a D minor. The cool thing about this is that you can use D minor pentatonic over the top. That is your fucking Dorian note. A B note, kind of slid up to a C note. Where's a good example? Good example is Ozzy, I Don't Know. That little... Whoops. We're in G Dorian. That's all that Randy's doing is some kind of... And then he does... That's Dorian. So Dorian is what I define as like a happy blues sound. Or no, not a happy blues sound, a cool blues sound. There's a Steve Vai song off of his off of Passion Warfare, and he goes like Dorian. That's D Dorian. So that means you'd be able to play a D minor pentatonic because it is over a minor chord. And you'd be able to play D Dorian the mode, which is C major scale starting on a D note. And you're like, well, Doug, I don't want to just play here. I want to play the whole fucking neck. Good for you, because not only can you use D Dorian, you can use E Phrygian, you can use all the shit I just showed you, all of it over this D minor chord. And you can also get, once you kind of figure it out, and get your sweeps in there as well. Once you find out what goes over what, that kind of shit. So that's how modes work, kind of. And this is trying to make it broad, but it's a tough one. So that was D Dorian. E Phrygian is C major scale starting on an E note. Gives you like a Spanishy kind of evil vibe. So Yngwie will use that. Jeff Loomis has probably used that. Kirk Hammett, without a doubt, has used it. And it's... So you can use all the white keys on the piano in this E minor Phrygian vibe. You know what's... here's a good example of a little tiny little snippet of Phrygian would be Little Dreamer by Van Halen. You know when Eddie goes, that is C Phrygian, because it's got the, that's, when I first heard that I was like, oh my god, that's got such a, like a Spanishy vibe to it. And it's because it's Phrygian, but then he gets out of it quickly and goes back into like a C minor kind of a thing, which would be... So he starts out kind of out of key, or kind of Phrygian E, or kind of a bit weird sounding, and then is able to kind of resolve into some nice notes that make sense, that are pleasing to the ear. That's where the whole tension thing comes from. So that's E Phrygian. F Lydian is got your... So if you do that in your... That, I consider that a Lydian chord. It's basically a G major chord here. Drop it here. So you got like an F with a G triad here. That's a Lydian chord. And what am I using? I'm using F Lydian. I'm using G. You can use all that stuff. All those 7 things I just showed you. Okay? And you can use a whole fucking neck now. So now you just got to worry about kind of memorizing, or, you know, getting it all happening in your head, I guess. So that was F Lydian, which is just F major. G mixed Lydian, which is... It's like a G7 chord here, or you can G major even. You've seen it. So if you play a G chord and then run that scale over the top, and like I said, you can use all the other stuff. Can you use the A minor thing? Absolutely. Usually a rule of thumb is if you're playing in G mixed Lydian. So if you're playing a G and you got your mixed Lydian starting point here kind of thing, but then you go and you get higher and higher, you just kind of want to resolve near or around the G note. So if you're in something and you kind of, you know, it's kind of telegraphing the listener, hey, we're back home, G is home, I've hit a G note. Whoops, G. The next one obviously is A Aeolian, A minor, and that's your fucking, that kind of thing. And then we're back into it. No, we're not actually. B Locrian. Look, B Locrian's just kind of weird. It's got a very dark sound, And if you're cool like, if you're musical like Rick Graham, he'd probably be able to make Locrian sound fucking scary as shit, as well as Guthrie. I don't know, it's one of the more challenging ones to kind of play over. But yeah. Any of this making sense or helping at all? Let's see what you've had to say, all 18 of you. Do you ever do solos by them? Into the Fire. Into the Fire, that's going to be straight up Aeolian all over the neck. With hints of a Dorian. See, here's the thing as well. Aeolian is here. Aeolian is minor. And I'll just take a little... A Dorian, which I also think of as E minor over A. That's just me, though. When he does his climb, he start like all that's A minor. And then he goes, that turns into, that's now then a Dorian. So you're just making an F sharp. It's subtle. Like it's neither kind of here nor there. Probably easier for him to do because all the shapes mirror each other. Whereas if he did it in strictly A minor, you have this shit. A lot of people don't like, because you got that, this. It might be a little like live, you might be like, you know what, I'll just bump it up to matching shit and it'll be easy peasy to do. People think like that, and that's fine. Like, it's metal, you know? It's fucking metal. Don't have my glasses, sorry. Into the Fire Vessel. Hey, Doug, I'm naked. Tom Nash is naked. I will remember Modes Lynch. Please, thank you, and or Hunter. I've done that on the video. Love me, John. Tom Nash, love you. Intense Rock 1, yes. Inside picking is so difficult, very much so. Just, if you want a nice little inside picking exercise, just... start with that down, up, down, up, down, up. You're using 13, 12, and 10. And just loop it. Or you can do this one. So 10, 13, 12, 10. Okay, I'm going to go. We've only got 3 minutes left. I want to plug some stuff. I want to thank all 19, 18, 20 of you for hanging out. I'm sorry I didn't get your questions. I'll go back over this and put the answers maybe below. Put questions in the fucking comments if you have anything. I probably should have prepared more. I didn't. I apologize. But modes are a weird one. Watch a couple of different dudes and they'll start popping up. But they can kind of mean like the entire vibe of a section, like I said earlier, or they can mean a specific scale that you need to use right then and there. Like I was talking to a keyboard player and we're talking about some stuff and I go, look, play an A minor scale at the F note. And he goes, oh, F Lydian, because that's exactly what it is. It's all the fucking white keys on the piano, but it's starting on the F note, and that is F Lydian. So I was like, oh, is that so? That's one of the reasons why modes have got their name, and the other one is because you're playing a certain scale over a certain chord. They kind of correspond to each other, and they stay within the key and fucking yada yada yada. I don't know. Somebody else translate. Let me plug some shit while I'm at it. Alarm is doing an album. It's in the capable hands of Neil Kernan, who mixed Dokken, Under Lock and Key, Queensryche, Rage for Order. He's done Jeff Loomis stuff. He's done Macabre stuff. He does that kind of a thing. Follow me on Twitter. I've got 48 people that follow me. That's not enough. I need 48 million but I don't really say much. I'm just glad that the East Area rapist in Sacramento was caught. So it's like a lot of hatred for that guy. I do a podcast. Google it. It's called The Podcast Formerly Known As... Oh, you don't even have to Google it. I'll tell you the fucking link right now. The Podcast Formerly Known As .com. And we've got, it's me, my brother-in-law Chris, our friend Dean, and Steve Hughes. The Aussie comedian Steve Hughes. He's rounded it out. Was a threesome in the beginning. I left because I was having mental problems. Came back, and now we've got Steve Hughes. So I bet if I come back and if I leave and then come back again, maybe we can get like Elizabeth Taylor as a fifth. She dead? I don't know. Don't know. I think that's it. I think I've plugged everything I needed to plug. Thanks for hanging out. I should probably go. And in the show notes below, I'm just going to call it the show notes below. It's the show more info section or whatever. I will send you a link to everything about modes that you need to know. But it's definitely a 2-tier kind of thing. I think that's it. I don't know when my brother-in-law has gone. I don't really know how to stop this. I'm just going to start clicking buttons until we're done. Shit, I missed it. Oh, Dean just showed up for the from the podcast to get on here, and he's missed the whole fucking thing. So, talk to you soon. I don't know. Oh, yeah, fuck it. I'll talk to you about it later. Thinking about making a t-shirt. Would you buy one? That kind of thing. We'll talk later. Namaste. I'm supposed to stand here and say bye, and then wait a couple of minutes, and then hit stop. But I think Chris has just rocked in, so see you soon.